lost you there for a second. I thought my phone was, not my phone, my camera was fully charged, and it wasn't. So I was glad I was actually seeing it at the same time. So I plugged you back in. I'm going to put you on the stand, and then I'm going to get started on removing those items. Yep, that is definitely the plan. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'm not going to film the whole thing. It's just a matter of taking off those items I just said. And once they're off, then I can get started and show you how I'm going to remove the actual seal. It's not that bad. The truck's been sitting for a few days, so I know all the oil is where it belongs, down in the pan, so that when I go and put the new seal in, I can clean it thoroughly, make sure it has no residue of oil, because I'm going to add additionally some sealant to make sure that the perimeter of the seal is well sealed, so to speak. Alright, so I'm going to continue to spin off. It spun off. It actually dropped. Sweet! Hope it didn't cut anything. Those wires on the way down. Damn, that dropped like an anchor. Yeah, this ought to be fun. I might have. No, I remember taking these out without pulling the fan shroud too, but you never know. I don't want to cut anything on the way. Yep. Let's see here. What am I caught on? There we go. It's moving. There we go. It's coming out. It's alive. There we go. See? Not too bad. You can get it out without removing the shroud, the hose, or the fill neck for the oil. So put that off to the side, and I'm going to get this zip tie that I already cut out of the way. Ooh, made it. Now the hose clamps are 5/16. I usually use a nut driver on those. I always have, because I was actually a Dodge mechanic, well, not just Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, at one of the dealerships not too far from here. And I always had to have two sets of tools. One set to be at the dealership, and the other set to be here at home. Because I've done stuff, outside of work. So I always had to have two sets. So I have one set on this side of the building, and I have another set on the opposite side. So east and west. Yep. East and west. It's a pretty long building. It's 76 feet long. And this is at the east end of the building. I just lost a little bit of antifreeze. It wasn't much. So now I've got to keep this here. Oh, maybe I can put it back here. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. Now comes the container for the windshield washer fluid, and I don't have to actually take it out. It is separated from the shroud. Let's see, how many slots are there? There's 2 slots at the top, sleeves like, and there's 1 at the bottom. So all 3 are out. And actually, the sensor is unplugged for it, and the motor is plugged in. But I'm not taking it out. I don't need to. Now I'm going to disconnect the hose. There we go. There's nothing really clamping them on. Moving that off to the side. And there are 10 millimeter bolts. There's 2 on the right side, which would be passenger, and there should be 2 on the left side, driver. Yep. Gonna have to do a little finagling in order to get at those, but let's see if my electric tool will work to sneak down in there. I'm using the 1/4" drive. Rigid. I've mentioned Rigid before. I like them. And once again, I'm not being sponsored. I haven't said that in a while because I haven't done a lot of mechanical stuff lately, mostly body and paint. And this has a longer neck, so it will be a little easier to reach, hopefully, and you don't need much torque to get them off. And it even has a doohickey light. So I'm going to go for the bottom one first. I hope. Let's see. What you doing? Yeah, I'm going to have to go with, instead of the deep socket, I'm going to have to go with the shallow one. That one's loosened up. It's kind of hanging on there a little bit. And here it is. I got it! It's mine! Now the second one, which is easier to get to, that's why I saved it for last. Now, same thing on this side. This one isn't as far down as the other side is, so, and that's because of the intercooler setup. So, I like doing the harder parts first and save the easy ones for last. I have an older business partner at the time. When we went to go in and we would do kitchens or bathrooms, I always wanted to do the hard stuff first, but he always wanted to do the easy stuff first. And I'm like, no, being that I was kind of doing the more intense labor, I wanted to get the hard stuff out of the way and then save the easy stuff for last. I think it makes it better in the long run, but that's just my opinion. Everybody's got them. It's just like that song by Will Smith. $100,000 cars, everybody's got them. Alright, all 4 bolts are out. Now let's see what it's going to take to slide this baby out of here. Let's see. Maybe? Ah, yeah, that dropped. Yep. What do we got here? Because it's being held up on this side. Here it comes. Look at that. See that? I guess the advantage is the bottom is broke. Or there's a piece missing or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's still good. The truck is a 1995. That is original. Now all this space is open, so I'm going to bring you on in and show you and point out a couple of things. Alright, you see all that free space? A lot of open real estate. Yes! So, one thing I want to point out, not that it's a biggie, but this is actually for the RPMs, the tack. And it's, it sits just a fragment like a fingernail fixe above the harmonic balancer, dampener, whatever you want to call it, and the 4 bolts. They're obviously in the center, spread out a little bit. And I think from the feel of it, they might be 15 millimeters. So I'm going to take that off, get that out of the way, and then show you what it's going to take to get the actual seal out. So in the meantime, just stand by. I'm back, and the part number that I gave you before was the wrong part. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too small, so I knew where there was another one that hoping was to be right, and it was right. I went and picked it up. Napa had the correct one. Advance gave me the wrong one, which I'm not surprised. But the part number and the product is from Felpro, and the part number, hopefully you can see it. I'll read it off. It would be Tango Charlie Sam 46174. TCS 46174. I verified it because, again, I took the old one out, took it with me just to make sure, and sure enough, it is the right one. So now the venture begins, putting the new one in there, and it's not easy. So give me some time. I'll let you know when it's done and it's in, and I will show you it. And if I learn of other tricks to put it in, it comes with the, basically a kit. And the kit has the steel ring that you would use to put it in. It has a plastic flange on it to help guide it over the crankshaft so that the seal stays correct. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the inside of that. And this one does have the film of a gasket on there, but I'm going to put a little on there anyway, just in case. I'm not going through all this just for the outside of it to possibly leak. So just a little heads up, and I'll chime back in, so stand by. Alrighty, I'm back. It's the next day, actually. I ran out of time yesterday in doing the seal, and I came up with an idea to get that seal in, because I did purchase the kit for doing that, and this part, here's part of it, pretty nifty, and the other part is right next to it. 2 bolts, Allen heads, this fitting right here. It's all a part of putting the sleeve on the crank and then supposedly putting the seal on there. That just, I don't even know what to say about that one, but there's a plastic, let me see, yeah, I got one over here. This plastic piece is what comes with the seal, and it has, you can see the difference in diameter on this side versus this side, and the bigger side cups over the crank so that you don't ruin the seal putting it on. And of course the seal is where my fingers are. Well, that plastic gets in the way and will not work with that. So I've always wanted these kits, and granted it did come from Harbor Freight. I've always wanted one, a little bit on the pricey side, and once again I'm not being sponsored by Harbor Freight or Pittsburgh for that matter. But with that kit, it did not have this part, which is really the part that I needed. The 10-ton hydraulic short body ram. They have a 20-ton one. I didn't want to spend the additional money. I, from time to time, could have used one of these, but I got around it. But today, wasn't going to happen. So as you can see here, I have it set up. I got a square stock going across from one end of the one side of the radiator and bottom of the frame, basically the radiator support. The square stock, 1.5 inch diameter, and you can see the press is against it, and some stock like 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch thick, and then that round sleeve. Well, that round sleeve is actually assembly of bearings, 2-part bearing coming in. They had to do probably inside of a rear. I don't remember exactly where it came from, but this would have been on the one side with the ball bearings beside of it. It looks just like this piece here. It's exactly what's in there. I had to put this on the lathe and cut this center piece out. Right here you can see, because the bearings would ride on this side as well as the opposite side. This centerpiece got in the way of the plastic sliding, so I had to cut it. Took my time cutting it. When you're cutting hardened steel like that, you got to turn it slow, but it worked out for the best, and it ended up pressing it on nice and even all the way around. So that was the only way for me to get that in there by myself. If there's another way of doing it without taking the cover off, then be my guest and do it. I don't want to take the cover off because I know I sealed that cover and it doesn't leak. And each time I get successful in sealing that cover and then I have to remove it for whatever reason, I'm never successful the next time putting it back on and it leaks somewhere. So I didn't do it. I didn't take it off. I'm going to do my best not to take it off and hope I can get that seal in there without damaging it. And I haven't released it yet. I'm hoping that all is well. I got to press it in a little bit more. Let me see here if you can see it when I do a little bit more pressure. Yep. Okay, just relaxed it a little bit because it went in, I think, far enough. There is a gauge that comes with it, and that's this ring right here. You can see it. It's probably, it probably goes in maybe 3/16 of an inch, something like that. Maybe less, maybe a little bit more, but not much more. So that's the scoop for that part. I thought it'd be interesting to hear and see. And if you have one of these, or you want to rent one, or a friend has one, I would recommend doing it that way. It just goes in, it just went in so much smoother and cleaner. So instead of trying to beat it in, I tried using a bigger socket. This is 2 9/16 socket. It had the right diameter for that, but it just didn't work out, especially with one person doing it. But this worked out better. It was definitely worth it to me anyway, and I know I'll be able to use this in the future with all those other attachments. So I'm going to put you on standby and go from there. And the only reason why I have this wood here is that I originally had the radiator up and not disconnected on the bottom end, but to give me more space between the crank and in front of it, which would take me to the intercooler. I was trying a hydraulic jack, a small one, but that didn't work because, you know, as soon as you turn those things sideways, they don't work. Oh well. But I'm going to put you on standby, and I'll chime back in once I've gotten it back together. Yep. Start recording. Here we go. It's all the way in. That's on. Oh, alright, I'm back. And I want to point out a couple of things. I don't know why the prior videos I was doing, no voice. Can't do nothing about it, so I'm trying it again for the last shot, because at least I can fill you in on that. When I'm using and putting back the original antifreeze, in the funnel I'll put a paper filtered funnel. And this is what you use when you're mixing paint and pouring the paint in the gun. You want to make sure it's clear. So when I do that, it catches any possibility of any little fragments or sand or dirt or whatever in there. So this way I don't have to worry about anything being in the system, even for as small as it is. So I try to keep it clean. And the other point that I was making is that I use straight up 100% concentrated antifreeze. Now if you're broken down and stuck and all you can get to get you back on the road is the 50-50, that's fine. Don't use water. because unless that's really the only thing you got and you got to get home. But the water is not actually good for the metals in the block. Use distilled water. There's a big difference. And it is recommended. You could research it, find out that distilled water would be better. Not too long back, it was 80 cents a gallon, could be $1 a gallon. But if you bought the concentrated over the 50-50 mix, you'll find that it'd be cheaper to buy the 100% concentrated and go buy a gallon of the distilled water and mix it like that. You come out ahead because what you're buying is half a gallon of antifreeze and a half a gallon basically of distilled water, and you're only saving a few dollars. I think it might be $3 to $5 max, where if you do the math, you're saving money and you'll have it. You know, even if you only use a half a gallon of the concentrated and a half a gallon of the distilled water, it's better than using the full gallon of 50-50 as far as numbers go. So that's that. Once again, I gotta apologize, and I don't know why my new camera is acting up, or maybe, you know, I got a green light here, I got a green light over there, solid, telling me it's recording. I just went in and checked, and the first few of this video, it's actually, you can hear the voice, but the last couple ones you don't hear it, and that's a shame because I know there was some good information there, especially when it came to the radiator. It came from Napa. I purchased this a long time ago. They carry a warranty on some of their stuff, if not most of it, and they actually warranted this radiator out. Even though I was the one that put the little pinhole in it, it was okay. The warranty stands, and it saved me basically $200 and having to buy a new one when they warranted it out. Obviously, I bought it new from Napa some years back, and you know, I did pay for it. It wasn't like it was free and now I get another one for free. But I always recommend that if you're going to keep the vehicle for, you know, a very long period of time, and especially if it's a wearable part that they have a lifetime warranty, I'd buy that. You save yourself some money, as I did, in getting a brand new radiator and putting that in. I know that was on the one prior to this, as far as the shot of the video, but I know there's no voice. So I wanted to voice that now. Hopefully it did work. It's working, hopefully. And that it is what it is. And I hope people are, you know, enjoying the video and learn something from it. I know I get a response from some of them, and I do my best to check the comments, find them, and check them and reply. Forgive me if I don't. You know, I'm getting better, but I'm not really this type of tech guy with this stuff, and I don't even know why, you know, this mic or whatever wasn't recording, because it's still solid green, and if this one's solid green, the receiver is solid green. So, nevertheless, I would appreciate people subscribing. Give me a like, make a comment, tell some of your friends. That'd be awesome. I'm far away from hitting that point with YouTube. It'd be great if I did. If I don't, it is what it is. You know, I'm not going to beat people over the head to get them to press, you know, or touch that subscribe button. You know, I do. Anything I watch, I subscribe. I know what it means. But never the who. The next video is going to be about, I believe, the 57 or 2007 Dodge truck. Yeah, one of the two. And I do have another older car coming in. I'm waiting on that. But in the meantime, go get something done. And I appreciate everybody watching. Peace out.